Hello and welcome to a new video here on my channel here at commaik. Today, in my new garden kitchen, I'll be installing the countertop and the knee wall. I've finished the electrical work over the past few days and now I'm slowly approaching the final stage. I'm going to integrate my grill into the countertop. I'll remove the side burner and also recess it into the countertop. The side shelf here will disappear completely. And if you want to know how I do all of this, how I set up these sidewalls, the countertop and so on and so forth, then stay tuned. We're about to get started. After several months of construction, things are finally getting exciting. Today I want to put on the countertop and at the same time install the knee wall from the front. The whole thing will be done using drywall construction. Due to the coronavirus situation, I'm currently experiencing severe delivery delays and had to completely scrap my plans. I'm going to put up a wall here using metal stud profiles, which I'll wrap to make them waterproof, and then attach OSB boards in front of them. On top, I'll also use OSB boards, the whole thing covered with Thermacell panels and possibly vinyl tiles or real tiles as a countertop on top. As soon as that's done, a backsplash made of porcelain stoneware or vinyl will also be installed on the front. I'm going to install my gas grill, the Napoleon Phantom P500, into this niche. It will be covered from the front so that only the upper part up to the lids will be visible. To make sure the entire grill fits into this niche, I will dismantle this side panel because with the large shelf plate, I simply won't need it anymore. On the other side, things get a bit more interesting because this is where the sizzle zone is installed. I will remove the sizzle zone and install the side burner here into the countertop. I already have the construction plans to recess this zone into the countertop and to install a tray there. What will be interesting, however, is connecting the gas hose, which you can see down here, and the cable, because this is a Canadian Napoleon model. In other words, the threads for an extension and similar fittings simply don't match the German system. But even for that, I've now found a solution to be able to install everything here. Before I get started, I'll first clear some space, bring the materials here to the construction site, get my tools, and first of all make a core drill through this wall so that the gas hose and the grounding for the grill for the piezo ignition can be routed through the wall here. I've made the core drill for the gas hose through the wall. I laid out a long profile, a UW profile on the floor and aligned it with the distance to the wall. Everything was marked and now I can measure the distances from the wall to where the grill will be installed, cut everything to size and fix it to the floor. The whole thing will be anchored to the floor with dowels and screws. Basically, no water gets in here, but to provide extra protection against moisture, I will stick a tar tape around the profiles from below and additionally treat the cut edges with zinc spray. I've now installed the countertop and the knee wall with the base cabinets. The countertop sits on top, is fixed to the back wall and holds rock solid, which also secures the front walls. This is where I'll install my built-in cabinets. I've marked the position of the studs behind the panels so that later I know exactly where I can install my cabinets. On the top side, I've already started laying out the covering that I want to apply here later, so I can come up with a pattern and, above all, do the calculations. These are vinyl tiles. These tiles are moisture resistant, are more or less made entirely of plastic and are resistant to abrasion. They are floor tiles. You shouldn't cut into them too much with a knife, but for the purposes I'm pursuing here, this is really a very good material. The tiles are currently lying directly on the OSB board. The whole thing is still a bit too hard for me, and since I originally intended to tile here, but unfortunately the selection of tiles or what's available is quite limited, I still have some Fermacell boards left over. I will now install the Fermacell boards onto the surface, onto the OSB board, screw them on here, adjust them, and then I will lay these vinyl tiles on top of the OSB board. The Fermacell boards are actually wall panels. These panels are suitable for damp rooms and should easily withstand the winter and humidity here in the garden kitchen. The thickness of the panel is 1 centimeter. The panels are screwed directly onto the surface. Of course, everything needs to be cleaned beforehand so that there is no dirt underneath. When I now lay the panel down and just slide it into the bag, making everything flush and right up to the wall, it becomes clear that my wall wasn't as perfect as I would have liked. Here, the wall is flush, and over there at the back, the panel is also up against it, but as you can see here, I have a gap of a good 3 centimeters. Of course, this gap needs to go, so now I'm going to measure the panel, cut it to size, and then I can install it. To get the panel to the right size, I placed it flush against the left wall. Now I'm going to measure the distance to the wall. It's just under 4 centimeters there. I'll now transfer this measurement to the other side. The surface of the countertop is covered with Fermacell boards. I cleaned the boards again and sealed them with a primer. I've already laid out the vinyl tiles and worked out a pattern because it's not as simple as I thought it would be. My countertop is 75 centimeters deep. The tiles measure 61 by 61 centimeters. There will be some waste here, which I expected. However, these tiles are designed so that you can't lay them in just any direction. The size and the laying direction of the tile are always predetermined, and they only work in one direction. So I measured from the back, or rather from the edge, and I'll position the tiles so that they slightly overhang the front edge. I'll then cut off the front edge so that a uniform gap forms at the back. This works very well here on the south side as well as on the southwest side. As you can see, I've marked everything out, and the tile surface, or rather my surface, is roughly parallel to the wall. On the other side though, it doesn't work quite as well, because this angle back here isn't a right angle. As you can see, I've aligned the straight edge with the future tile layout, and here I already have a relatively large gap. But I can live with that. I have to live with it. Now I have to lay everything out so that the offcuts that result up here, since I'll be cutting off part of a tile here, I'll take that piece and install it up here. All the rest that I don't use, I can use once here, but the offcuts from all the other tiles would currently be waste, and I'd like to avoid that. For this reason, for example, I calculated everything so that the offcut that results back here, the larger part of the tile that can be placed here again, can then be used, for instance, on the other side. Now I will cut the smaller pieces that will be laid along the back wall, lay them out, and then work on the large tiles. Laying the tiles is relatively simple. The tiles have a tongue and groove system, which is different on each side, so everything only fits together in one direction. The tiles are slotted into each other at a 45-degree angle like this, and then I can simply let them drop, and the tiles are already connected. The whole thing is waterproof, and since it's made of plastic, even if it weren't, it wouldn't be a problem. To cut the tiles, a sharp utility knife is sufficient. You score the tiles with it, break them along the line, and then trim them cleanly again. The knee walls and the countertop are now fully assembled. I use the OSB board as a base, the permazel board, and on top of that the vinyl tile. The tile is glued down, not everywhere, but the whole thing holds extremely well. I've already tested it. The joints are sealed, I was able to test that already, and I have to say, in terms of appearance, I'm really impressed. It looks fantastic. I've now also installed the sloped section and put a strip behind it to hold everything in place, because a revision door is supposed to be installed here later. I've also placed a board in the niche where the grill is supposed to go. This board has been reinforced from the back because here at the front, roughly along these marked lines, a double door is going to be installed. This double door will allow me to access the grill, operate the gas bottle and so on, because I will remove these two doors and then hide the entire grill body behind this wall. Of course, this wall needs to remain movable, meaning I have to be able to remove it in case I ever need to clean the grease tray or simply repair the grill or whatever else might be necessary. That's why I will attach this construction to the sides with a special bracket so that I can remove it at any time. But you'll see that in one of my next videos. What you'll also see in one of my upcoming videos is the installation of the kitchen furniture. The components are gradually arriving here after all. I have the doors in various sizes. I have a double door, which will go here in front of the grill, or rather down here under the sink. I have a small door that fits directly into this slant. And here I have a built-in unit for the kitchen area. And here, that's going to be a surprise. You can check that out in the next video. Just click subscribe below and you won't miss the next video. You also definitely don't want to miss the conversion of my gas grill, because the grill, as it stands here, doesn't fit into this niche. I'm going to dismantle the side panels. That's relatively easy on this side. On the other side though, it's going to be more difficult, because over here the sizzle zone is installed with the gas connection and the grill grate. And the whole thing is supposed to be installed over here. I've already done a bit of experimenting with a tile with a panel with a metal frame that's going to be set in here. So you can look forward to seeing what else I'm going to do here. I hope the video was entertaining for you. I was really happy to have you here with me. And if you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below so you don't miss the next videos. Feel free to write in the comments below. What do you think about my project? What ideas do you have? What else could I maybe implement? Is there something I haven't thought of at all yet? I would be really happy about that. And of course, take a look at the video description below as well, because the components I use here are linked for you down there. You can easily reorder everything there. Same price for you and a small commission for my channel, so I can keep producing videos like this. At this point, thank you very much for watching. See you next time for the installation of the furniture. Take care, bye.